think we should do the kitchen, the extension.
Seriously? We'll just have to see what the rest of the street make of it.
Over my dead body.
They're our friends, Derek.
Are they? Are you sure?
You trying to blackmail me?
Oh, God. Call the police.
Who knows what goes on behind these doors?
The Feud. Stream the full series now on 5.
A disturbing police hour of duty begins when a mum is arrested suspected of harming her baby at 10. Brand new first with scenes of road traffic collisions you may find distressing from the start and throughout. Forensics crash scene investigation.
Trevor and Roger couldn't be comfier.
Huge bones of all shapes and sizes.
Evenings on 5, sponsored by Simba Hybrid Mattresses.
When I turn up, I treat it like a murder scene. I'm going to investigate it to the best of my ability.
The evidence would suggest that you've not made any attempts to avoid the collision. Why is that?
I don't know.
Some people are quite open and honest with you and will tell you exactly what's happened. Other people will choose to lie to you.
I might have possibly been speeding.
You were speeding, not might.
When collisions are fatal,
casualty injury is not compatible with life,
or life-changing.
Put your hands on down here, guys.
Someone's paralysed from the neck down. The crash team is called in.
I've seen an awful lot of death on the road.
How old are they?
They're all young.
We've got to make sense of all that carnage. The causes are often mysteries that need solving.
Sarge's summit here as well.
We've got a frozen speedo indicating 80 miles an hour. The face of it looks fairly straightforward, but we know that's not always the case. Using the latest technology.
I'm the person that takes their last photograph.
So now I can go down and basically revisit the scene. And forensic detective work.
Every mark can tell a story.
Some call it a dark art because of the magic we create out of carnage.
Who is the culpable party? Who is responsible?
These are the people who look for answers.
I just want you to find out everything you can, however long that takes.
For us to be able to provide that voice to the deceased, I think is a really important thing.
North Yorkshire's a beautiful county, but people need cars. Just, you can't get from A to B. We are very, very reliant on vehicles. But from that maybe comes complacency.
Police emergency.
We've got a severe road accident. Fanny is trapped into the front of the car. The car's just on the roof. He looks really bad. He's bleeding from the head. A lot of blood.
Got a call from ambulance saying that the vehicle had rolled. The male came out of it through the windscreen and was laid on the floor outside the vehicle. Lost quite a lot of blood, significant head injury.
A car has crashed 20 miles northeast of York. Local traffic officers are first to respond.
Where is he? In the vehicle still? Where is he? Hello, police. Can you hear me, buddy? I'm here with you. Can you hear me, matey? Can you hear me? He's not conscious, not responsive at all. Rapid, weak pulse. He's critical. We're going to have to move him, start CPR. Yeah, I think the ambulance is almost here. I can see blue lights in the distance.
With the man unresponsive, the paramedics take over.
Helicopter just landed, alright? I've been here about 15 minutes. Compression begun on for maybe 10 now.
We've got a defib here now.
Right, stand clear, don't touch the body. It's not great. 6 to 8, he's proved, unfortunately, this gentleman. It's been an unsurvivable head injury.
Yeah, I can confirm registration for that vehicle. Can you pass me his full name and date of birth, please? So I think it's Peter Andrew Newton.
Yeah, we've had a look at the address. There's a female shown at the address of Josephine Newton.
I think his son's turned up.
Well, he's been missing for 3 hours. They've come out looking for him, and then before setting off, it was like, oh, are you aware of this on social media? There's been a crash on that road, and that's why they've turned up at the scene.
This is a problem, social media. News gets out, which is why it's vitally important that we can actually get to the people's home address and tell them before it's on Facebook and Instagram. Can we arrange an undertaker, please, for a scene? Trying to work out what he's done to.
The tyre mark's coming back that way.
Yeah, we've gone for the windscreen, hasn't it?
Debris everywhere.
Sarge, just something here as well.
With the collision now fatal, traffic officers call in the forensic crash investigation team.
In my career, I've been to hundreds of jobs. So I've seen an awful lot of death on the road. Now, having done this a long time, it's very rare I use blue lights unless I think I'm going to lose evidence. I've learned that I've never got there and saved somebody's life. It's always for me to do the investigation. And I'm just getting a bit older, so I maybe just slowed down a bit. When I turn up at a collision, if it's life-threatening or somebody's died, I treat it like a murder scene. It's not an accident. It's not something to quickly move out the way to let the business in the village, in the Dales, get on because I've closed the road. I'm going to investigate it to the best of my ability.
We think he's come from this way. We think he's hit that puddle and then gone over the embankment, and which has rolled the car.
It's almost like I've got a Cardex memory system of previous collisions. And you're then looking at the damage to the car, but you're just taking in the geography, just checking the initial story. The information that the lead investigator at the scene's got is that the vehicle was travelling south, has left the road on a left-hand bend, has travelled through some very deep mud, hit the gravel bank and come to rest. But when you look at the 4 tyres on the car, there's no mud on them. Everybody's telling me one thing, that the vehicle's travelling in one direction, and I can't find the evidence for that at the moment. These are the gravel piles, and you can see there's some disturbance on the top of it if you look at how light and grey the dry gravel is. If it's a single vehicle and there's been a driver and he's died, I'm acting on his behalf to work out what happened. You can see all the vegetation is down like something's been through it. I'm thinking the vehicle's going in the opposite direction to what they've said. So it's certainly clipped some of the branches here. Got broken branches on the ground. The sharp edged. It's still damp and fresh. The main road is the headlights you can see up there from the 2 patrol cars. So it's travelled from there all the way down here. So it's climbed up this bank in here, having just missed that tree, and this is where it's launched to turn over, bouncing and smashing as it's done it. If at the moment we think it's on all 4 wheels here, I wonder why he hasn't just took a lot more speed off.
The lack of braking could suggest that the driver was asleep or distracted.
With it being this dark, and with the amount of debris and everything that's in this lay-by, I will be coming back tomorrow in daylight, confirm the conclusions I've come to in the darkness, and see if daylight brings any more evidence to me. I want to be able to say to the family, this is what we believe happened.
New marks are revealed in daylight, which help explain the driver's behaviour when he left the road.
There's 2 tyre marks that I'm interested in here. We can see rubber from the tyre. That tells me that the driver has his foot on the brake. If he's got his foot on the brake, he's conscious. So he's reacting here. So he's sensing there's something wrong and he's taking avoidance action. But here, the braking stops, but the car carries on. The vehicle's now being affected by the uneven surface in the lay-by. The driver that was braking up there still hasn't regained control of the car. The front of the car is dug in here. So the rear of the car comes over the front of the car and has gone airborne. This position here is where the car comes to rest, facing back that way, which is possibly why first attenders at the scene wondered whether it had come off the road coming this way. He'd been thrown out at some point as it's travelled through this gravel and has hit the ground here, and the car has caught up with him. It's a possibility that his own vehicle has struck him when he's been outside the vehicle on the ground. It would appear the driver has not been wearing a seatbelt, and that's why he's been ejected. I'm starting to get a bigger picture. We're starting to eliminate things that, well, last night I was considering he was unconscious throughout. Now those marks tell me that isn't possible. If it was one of my loved ones, and somebody was telling me what the investigation had found out, I wouldn't want them to sit there and shrug their shoulders and say we don't know. I'd want to know that they had done every possible thing and turned every stone over, every line of inquiry, no expense spared, as many people as we've thrown into it. Big investigation, and this is what we found out. That's the answer you want.
The next phase of the investigation passes to the family liaison officer.
The cliche is that you just want to help people, but genuinely, that is true. You need to find out what has happened, how it happened, why it happened. Could it be prevented?
Ed is visiting the wife of the deceased. He's investigating the driver's movements before the crash.
Talking to the families is difficult, especially in the first sort of meetings we have with them. They've just suffered a massive loss, and all of their emotions and all their feelings are still raw. Hello, you was right to come in. I know it's difficult to talk. If you need to take a break, if you need any time, let me know.
And then when they came, I didn't really believe it, to be honest. And they said, does he have any tattoos or anything? And I said, yeah, he's got Josie on. And he radioed it through and he said, yeah, it's him. I don't know what the policeman was saying, they just was talking.
Could you just tell me a little bit about what Pete was doing in the evening?
He rang at 5 to 6.
Okay.
And he said, right, that's me done, I'm getting in the car. When it got to like 7:30, I rang his boss and I said, did he actually leave? And he said, we went. Sam had rung me and said he couldn't get hold of him, so he went out as well.
Sam did?
Yeah. He said, the road's closed. I think it's Pete's car, Mum. There's a policeman walking over now, I'm going to ask him, what's his registration number? So he said, it's Pete, Mum. But there's an air ambulance coming, so at least he's alive. And then he said, it's going again, Mum. Without him. And then it was like a wild animal crying. And he just said he's dead. I don't really remember what I said then. I don't remember anything from then. Until the policeman came.
Have you got any questions?
I just want you to find out everything you can.
Yeah.
And then however long that takes.
Yeah.
The investigators need to find out why the driver stopped braking and what caused him to veer off-road into a fatal crash.
I suspect people think because they're in the safety of the cocoon of a car that they're going to be alright. You know, I commute 50 miles every day and I've never had a problem, so I'm not going to have a problem today.
It's emergency.
A car was reversing down the A64. I think the car had missed a turn-off, and when I drove past it, it was reversing.
With reports of a car reversing up a dual carriageway, traffic officers are rushing to the scene.
This is going to cause chaos.
Got any units who can assist with road closures and redirecting traffic?
If you're on a 2-lane road, you are literally a few feet away from killing somebody.
Car's crumpled.
This car is completely smashed up. Unfortunately, it does look like the driver's deceased. However, I can't actually get into the vehicle.
people don't realise how easy it is, I don't think.
Morning.
Hello.
Right.
Driving a black car, but they've got him out. No pulse.
Right.
So I think.
Are we happy that's...
There's no ID on it, but he has got a letter with that name.
Right. 10-4, I'm getting the nod to confirm that's who we suspect the deceased driver is of that vehicle. He was the single occupant. I'll come back to you because we'll need to task Humberside to go around and attempt to deliver a death message over.
So he'll have been on his way to a shift, probably. Or on his way home.
Yes.
What state's the van driver in vehicle 2?
He's uninjured, no injuries at all.
Right, so let's have a look down here.
A statement is needed from the van driver who hit the car that was seen reversing up the road.
I just didn't see him. I don't know whether he wanted to go that way and change his mind or this way and change his mind. There was no hazard.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I've just clacked him at 60 miles an hour.
Okay, that's alright. That's fine. Just stay put with me for 2 minutes. I'm going to speak to everyone.
Yeah.
And then just see what they want to...
Told that you've witnessed everything.
Well, I saw it, as you do when you're driving.
Yeah.
It was coming down here, it looked like the little black car, it looked like it was a misty junction. He stopped, he hesitated, he slowed right down and he just going straight to time, straight into the back of the front like that.
Right. Okay, you feel alright to give a statement? You're not too shaken or anything at the moment? It's convenient?
With the collision declared fatal, it's a job for forensic investigator Paddy Green.
If you imagine, as human beings, we've evolved over thousands of years. We've evolved to survive within our limitations. When we put ourselves in little tin boxes and travel at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, the human body is not designed to withstand that collision.
Right.
Driver a black car, reversing up, after going past junction. Van's gone straight back into the back of it.
It's a mystery why the car was reversing on the inside lane and why the van didn't see him. Paddy is looking for evidence to provide answers.
I've been involved in 2 fatal accidents myself, which is pretty unheard of. The thing about collision investigation, we've got to make sense of all that carnage. The body's been recovered, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's gone to mortuary.
Again, I mean, it was dry when we turned up, it started raining, so time is of the essence. Looking at the level of crush damage suffered by the Hyundai, it could suggest excess speed by the van. But there is a big difference in the size of the vehicles, so potentially not. With every case, be it somebody who's died or somebody who's still alive, you've got to put yourself, you know, in their position at that time and in the moments leading up to the crash. Imagine it's a dead long straight road and you're driving along and you see loads of cars in front of you swerving out of the way of something. You're going to think to yourself, hey up, there's something going on up there, there's a hazard. Whereas if you picture yourself here in the driver's seat, are you going to be able to notice if cars are coming out of the way? Because you can't see both sides of the carriageway, can you? You can barely see the middle of the carriageway. We've identified some marks that we can attribute to the collision. I'm looking for indications that the van has reacted. There's no emergency braking marks that we can identify that would suggest that. If we can put those vehicles back on the marks, and that can be a really useful tool for us. The question we have to answer is whether the van driver attempted to avoid the car at the point of collision.
There's no way that van driver's done anything wrong. That the black car overshoots the junction by approximately 200 metres, stops, tries to reverse in the 200 metres, there's loads of near misses and stuff with him, and then the collision occurs.
Was he in motion when the collision occurred?
I don't know, I haven't asked that question, but we will have the definitive footage.
We've got some interesting bulb markings on the car. Looks like he had his foot on his foot brake and the hazards were on.
Well, he shouldn't have been there though, should he?
What if he'd just broken down?
But he hadn't, he'd been reversing.
Bias is one of the key things that we need to be aware of. You've got to ensure that all your working hypotheses are based on the evidence that you found at the scene?
So my witness has said that the van's overtaken him. My witness is doing 60. So the van's come past him, it's 70, 75.
So if he is going 50 miles an hour over the speed limit for a van...
Thanks, Jerry.
From the reconstruction of the vehicle's positions at the point of impact, it would appear that the driver of the van hasn't taken any action to avoid the car. Why is that? Anything on Traeger?
No, zero.
Zero on Traeger?
Yeah.
Plug white?
Absolutely negative. So...
Did we get his phone?
Yeah, I've got driver's phone. Yeah. And we seized a dash cam. He says it wasn't plugged in. Well, clearly we'd take that anyway. Yeah.
We've got to look at what was happening in all the vehicles involved, both the vehicles that avoided the collision and the vehicles that were involved in the collision. So was it a poor decision? You know, we've got to look at all of the aspects of it.
It's a split-second thing. I mean, you've seen him all the way back.
The Hyundai driver was in a dangerous position when this collision happened. There is a problem with the sightline, and you can see it from here.
Yeah.
But we don't yet know for sure why he was there. It's possible that both drivers have some responsibility for this collision. But one of them is dead, and we can't speak to them or get their account. So we will need to establish exactly what's happened.
I do feel a lot of pressure to do my job right. And that's twofold, because at the scene, you've only got one shot at it. And later on, during the investigation, if you miss something, if you get something wrong, you may be responsible for the failure of that case. The effects of what's happened there, you know, they stretch through people's lives. And I know that. We were on a bus trip, we were in a crash and a friend died. I think being involved in that maybe sort of subconsciously has influenced my sort of choice of career somehow. I've got 50, 60 images of dead bodies in my mind that I will never be able to remove. Every time I see a young girl with plaited pigtails, it takes me back to removing a girl from a vehicle. Pretty little young girl, and she had these immaculate French plait pigtail things. And I just remember trying to straighten them up and make them look nice. And every time I see a young girl with plaited pigtails walking around the supermarket or something like that, immediately transports me that way. If it was one of my family members, I'd want a thorough job doing.
Mate, he is a beauty.
I'd want to know why they were on the road at that time, why they left the road, and what happened.
Police emergency.
We've got a severe road accident. Fanny is trapped into the front of the car. The car's just on its roof.
A few days ago, a car came off the road, flipped, and hit a gravel bank. The driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt and was thrown out of a car.
It's climbed up this bank in here, having just missed that tree, and this is where it's launched, bouncing and smashing as it's done it.
It's not known why the driver lost control. Forensic investigator Steve Kirkbright is leading the investigation.
We're travelling the route of the Skoda from the other night.
Steve wants to narrow down why the driver left the road and stopped braking. He's conducting a steering test leading up to the crash.
If you're asleep, you don't steer. So the way we're going to test for that is I'll go light on the steering wheel and see where the gravity, the slope of the road, the crown of the road, takes the van. So I'm just getting the speed up, that's 58 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour. travelling through a little right-hand curve now, and I'm inputting steering. As we leave that curve, I know I'm approaching the scene, and that's when I'll stop inputs into the steering wheel. So if I stop steering now, we're going off to the near side. There's no way it's going into that layback. The camber and the turn of this road does not bring me to that point. So it's not a matter of him falling asleep. So the marks on the scene show me that the vehicle left the road onto the grass and along the grass there. If he's marking the road surface here, he's applying the brakes hard enough to stop the wheels turning. But then by the time he gets to here, he's not making brake marks. It's like he's come off the brake, or his foot's been knocked off the brake. Or because with him being possibly unbelted, he's not able to maintain his position. Could be if he thinks he's hitting that tree, he's took the footwell. If the tree's going to come through that windscreen in front of my face, am I going to sit and take it, or am I going to duck down into the passenger footwell? For an unknown reason at this moment, he is steered off the main carriageway towards this lay-by.
Having established the driver was awake and trying to avoid the crash, Steve needs to examine the car for clues to why he swerved.
Who was driving this vehicle? Sorry, yourself, yeah? Can I just go a few details off you? Is that alright?
I just didn't see him. Yeah. I don't know whether he wanted to go that way and change his mind, or this way and that way and change his mind. There was no hazard.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I've just clapped him at 60 miles an hour.
After a fatal head-on collision between a van and a stranded car on the A64, Paddy Green is leading an investigation into the cause of the crash.
Got CCTV, seen black car reversing up after going past junction. Man's gone straight back into the back of it.
Back at base, Paddy is examining CCTV footage of the collision with Sergeant Adam Elliott.
Would this be his route home?
Yeah.
Has he done it before?
Not very many times.
Why not just go down to the next junction?
You see a car reversing the wrong way down a carriageway, straight away, my thoughts are that's dangerous driving. It's putting other people at risk. And part of me does think, yeah, well, a collision's inevitable. That's 7:55 and 30 seconds.
They need to see if the Hyundai was actually reversing.
Hazards on there, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're coming up to collision time now.
Right. And is he moving, this lad here? I'll put my pen on the end of him. Right, that didn't move off my pen end, did it?
No.
It could have brought down and stuck in reverse or something. It's an automatic, isn't it? So that's gone from a reversing object to a stationary hazard.
CCTV can be really crucial to what we do. It can confirm what we think, and it can make us look at things in a completely different way.
There's a lot of cars going round him, isn't there?
Yeah.
Did somebody count, did you say?
I think Steve had done a count. I think he was up to about 38. You can see the moment the van comes into picture, and you can get a good impression as to what his view should have been.
He has got that car in front of him that comes out, but
it comes out very early.
Yeah. I suppose the question is, if going on for 40 people have moved out of the way, what could they see differently to your van driver, or what was different? When we talk about reaction time, we're using all of our senses. So you perceive it as a hazard, you decide that you're going to have to do something about it, and then you do the thing about it. What was going on in that environment that he didn't perceive it as a hazard?
Did you see the headlight flash in lane 2?
No.
So you get the car that pulls out there, and then there's the car behind flashing him. That car that does the flashing looks like it's fairly level with where the van is for a period. If there's a flash, is that associated with a horn as well?
I see what you're saying. So if he's flashing and blowing his horn,
so
and giving him...
Yeah, and is that took his attention? If someone's claiming a distraction, then we can look at that, and it can be really important in proving what happened. And this is for me why
the interview's key for him today, because if he's the only one that can tell us what's going on inside his cabin.
The van driver has agreed to a voluntary police interview. Investigator Marie and a colleague will question the driver.
The car was stopped in lane 1. He'd just finished a night shift at work. So he was a care worker. He's come here from Romania. He's retrained as a nurse. He just bought a car for the job and he was on his way home. So it's tragic that he's passed away. Several other cars have managed to see him and avoid him and move out of the way for him, and the van driver hasn't. We're looking at potentially death by careless driving, could be time in prison, losing his licence, his job. So there is quite a lot at stake for him in these circumstances.
You need a day to be asked questions about a collision on the A64 in York. The caution I give you now is you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention you when questioned, so no too late rely in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand the caution?
Yes.
The interview is to establish whether there is any culpability, whether he's got any lines of defence that he can bring up, but that's his time, essentially, to tell us exactly what's happened and why it's happened.
We attended First Police Station and spoke to you then, if you remember.
Yes.
You did say he came out of nowhere from the hard shoulder. I smashed into him, my van went right up his chuff. Do you recall telling me that?
Yes.
What speed were you travelling at the time of the collision?
60 on cruise control.
And how do you know it was the speed?
Because I set my cruise control all the time.
And when did you set it in relation to this journey?
Just after Hopgrove roundabout.
So as you came onto the dual carriageway...
I didn't want a dual carriageway.
And did you leave lane 1 at any point during that time?
Some people are quite open and honest with you and will tell you exactly what's happened. Other people will choose to lie to you, and that is the nature of the job.
Can you describe the vehicle you collided with?
A little dinky black car.
The forensic vehicle examiners examined the scene and the vehicles, and they found no evidence of braking or attempts to steer or brake or avoid a collision at the scene. The evidence would suggest that you've either not seen the car, which is a black Hyundai, or you've seen it but not made any attempts to avoid the collision. Why is that?
I don't know.
The brain works in weird ways, so it could be that the gentleman has, due to the trauma of the incident, it's blocked it out. Obviously, there's also the other element that he could just be saying that.
Talk me through the first time you became aware of this car, and what you were doing and what you recall the other vehicles doing at the point that you can remember.
I honestly cannot remember anything. It's just gone out of my head. All I remember was an airbag. I saw him at the very last second.
How long do you believe you had him seeing the black car to when you collided with it?
Again, honestly, I do not know.
When you say you mentioned seconds, you say that you had no opportunity. So when you've seen him, how long then before the bump?
Again, I honestly don't know.
So can you say how close you were when you first saw his car?
No.
Is there any reason why you can't remember those two things?
None.
Will you pay attention to the road?
Yes.
How is your memory? Have you got any problems?
No problems.
No. Do you remember any of the cars around you at the time of the collision?
No.
What about the outside lane? Do you remember anything being in your outside lane as you were coming to this car?
No. Nothing. I don't remember anything.
People don't go out on a morning in the car and intend for somebody to die. It's not like a murder where it has been their intention to kill someone. When you go out on the road, just going to work like this gentleman was, that was never his intention. They've gone through a trauma. They know that their actions have caused someone's death. You can tell that he is emotive, and he's still shaken up by it when he's getting interviewed.
Forensic investigator Steve Kirkbright is working on a crash where the driver was thrown from a car and killed. He's already proved he wasn't asleep.
He's not got illegal drugs in him. He's not got prescription drugs in him. There's no pre-existing fault with the Skoda that was causing the crash. There's no problems with the road. There's no debris here. Gravity would take you off over here to the near side. So for some reason he has turned that way, which brings again back to, is he swerving to avoid something?
With these causes ruled out, the investigation focuses on the car.
We've done the mechanical examination. I just want to have a good look round and make sure there's no paint transfer to suggest it's been in contact with another vehicle. I'm also looking to make sure there's no sign of it hitting an animal. So we're starting at the front, thinking of the way it was travelling. There's scratches across the bonnet, but they're from the rough surface of the lay-by. That's an impressed dent, it's not an impact dent. Although there's marks appropriate to the age, nothing that you would expect if you hit another car. I'm satisfied from this look round and the earlier look round that there's no evidence of it being in contact with another vehicle. That doesn't eliminate that he's swerved for another vehicle, it just tells me that he's not been in contact with anything else. Seatbelt is in the same position as it was on the night, in what we call the stowed position. It's not locked, I can move it, and if you look at the belt, that would have a mark on it that looked like you'd put a very hot iron over it, and there's not. So I'm convinced now, with looking at that and knowing that the driver's come out, that he wasn't wearing that seatbelt. If the driver's not belted, he can come out through this gap here, or as it rotates around the front to go end over end, it could be that he's been ejected through the back. What we do know is when the car came to rest, it was on its roof, it was next to the injured driver, and it was apparent from a mark near his head and from the damage here that this has struck his head and caused quite a significant injury. If he'd been wearing his seatbelt correctly, I believe he would have had a very good chance of surviving this collision. If there was one thing that I would say makes a difference in the 20 years of investigating fatal collisions, it's not using seatbelts. On this occasion, I don't think I will know for sure what caused him to lose control. I think something's made him steer away. He's caught something in his headlights, but not sure. And I don't like it. I like to be able to provide the family with the answers to their questions, but this one's proving a challenge. Sometimes, the one little bit that's caused the chain of events to start, you can't establish it. If the answer's not there, the answer's not there, is it? And if I start letting those in, instead of remembering the hundreds where people have said, thank you X for explaining how they died, it would be those 3 or 4 that I couldn't quite nail it down that would be chipping away at my head.
The findings of the investigation are finally passed to the family of the deceased driver.
Peter always had a woolly hat on, or a cap. These are what he had on when he went to work. It's the smell of him. I met Peter when I first moved down here, 20 years. 20 years next week. He was constantly taking pictures of himself. I haven't really looked at any before now. I couldn't look, so I just grabbed everything and just put it all in a drawer and shut the drawer. In time, I suppose, I'll probably have photographs everywhere. That's when me and Peter got married with Samuel in the middle. My son is really struggling without Peter, because he's been in his life since he was 4. The amount of times I've said, you've got to put your seatbelt on, but he didn't. Peter always told me a story about a friend of his who did wear a seatbelt, and he was trapped in the car, and Peter always had that fear. He's missed by a lot of people. A lot. He's gone too soon.
in the case involving a car allegedly seen reversing up a dual carriageway and being hit by a van.
A64 Hyundai and van.
Paddy and Marie are reviewing the evidence so far.
Says he was on his way to a job for work.
Okay.
But cannot remember the collision, essentially.
At all?
I honestly cannot remember anything. It's just gone out of my head.
So he's got no head injuries or anything like that, but he can't remember anything of it. So I suppose the explanation for no memories will be shock or something like that.
The evidence would suggest that you've either not seen the car, which is a black Hyundai, or you've seen it but not made any attempts to avoid the collision. Why is that?
I don't know.
What's your thoughts on his account?
I said earlier, he still was shocked and upset about the thing. But there was avenues that he could have gone down which would have given an explanation.
Yeah.
But to say that he just can't remember anything about it,
Yeah,
is
it seems a bit weird, doesn't
bit
it?
strange. If 30 other people have managed to pass him, why hasn't he?
Yeah, there's got to be some explanation, hasn't there? And be that inattention or distraction or something.
Medical.
That car was, I think it was pretty much station one, and 30 odd people have avoided it. So what is different about that moment in time for him than everybody else?
Yeah.
Having investigated all the evidence, it's down to crash detective Sergeant Adam Elliott whether to push for a criminal charge for the van driver.
What did van driver have to say on interview?
Can't remember, I doesn't know.
We've given somebody the opportunity to provide an explanation. If someone doesn't want to do that for whatever reason, that's that individual's choice, and that's not going to stop us from investigating what happened. So in reality then, we're going to be looking at saying that Hyundai driver's committing an offence in what he's doing, but that's not going to negate what anybody else does around him. Because ultimately we can effectively say that the speed he was going backwards is so marginal that anyone should have been able to stop as if he were a broken down vehicle in the carriageway. The average reaction time is below 3 seconds, and whilst he may not have been able to come to a complete stop, there were things that he could have done. He could have been braking, he could have been steering, and he may have been able to avoid the collision. So on that basis, the fact that he hasn't seen him and he hasn't reacted to him, and we've got little to no evidence of braking or steering to avoid the collision, it's going to be for CPS to have to go to them for them to authorise the charge for probably death by due care.
Yeah.
It's like manslaughter. You don't mean to kill somebody. And I've no doubt that there's perfectly nice people out there, pillars of the community, but they might get distracted when they're driving. They might not pay attention. And if you wake up in a mangled car knowing that somebody's died and knowing that you were checking your phone or doing your eyeliner in the mirror, how are you going to live with that? We're only ever a few feet away from disaster on the road, and that's the reality. It really is, believe me. Two people fighting for their life at the minute, and they've called us out because they think at least one of them's going to die.
Why is this car gone off the road at that location?
We'll see what 40 feels like. That was pretty uncomfy, wasn't it?
Someone's just been knocked over.
She ran out into the road and tried to avoid it.
The right leg's completely come off.
Looks like the pedestrian was struck at the front and they've travelled. My theory is that he's on the wrong side of the road when she's been hit. We can put that to him. He's got nowhere to go.
And you can see that brand new tomorrow at 9. Brand new True Crime Thursday at 9, revealing for the first time the harrowing details of the plot to kill Holly Willoughby. And go beyond the police tape to follow every step of the investigation with the forensics at the murder scene, streaming now on 5. Next tonight, Police Hour of Duty.